What's up, everybody? Looking at XRP, we got a triangle. Also looking at the price of Engine, not just Engine, but many other coins that have the similar look. Basically looking at a fractal that Bitcoin created not that long ago, back in sort of July through October of 2023. And we can see something very similar here, right? So we have an impulse. We have a pullback. You can see this little boom there, right? Boom. Kind of a little, see how it sort of drops down, sweeps the low, comes back up, creates that divergence, comes back up, creates the divergence. And then you also have this boom, 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 little bottlenecking right there. And then bam, and then bam. And then what's really interesting is this little spot right here is pretty much almost identical. So look at this one. I highlighted it a little differently here. So yeah, I mean, it's pretty much self-explanatory, you know, just look at it. Pause the video if you have to and take a look at that, because I think it looks pretty good. Now, it'll be easy to know if this thing gets invalidated. Obviously, if we take out the low here, it's invalidated. If we break out too fast, it's invalidated. Because what I like about it is you kind of come down, or let's actually zoom in here. You kind of come down, right? You go sideways, you pop the high, you come back down, you go sideways, you wick off the low, right? And then if we look over here, something a little similar, kind of going sideways, you're wicking off the low, you have this big spike here, wick off the low, very similar. And then what happens? You climb all the way up without taking the high. Then you three-way pullback, basically a 1 2 1 2, right? And then you explode. So if we look over here, we did the same thing, right? Or we're beginning to. Hopefully, we'll see. Not financial advice. I could be wrong. This could, you know, fractal analysis is, you got to take it with a grain of salt, right? It's not something you should totally trade on. I mean, it's nice to see it. It gives you confluence in things. It helps kind of guide you in a way, but it shouldn't ever be meant for investment purposes or trading, right? You should just use it in conjunction with your strategies that you're already using. But yeah, so real quick, you can see right here, right? We came up without taking the high. Same thing here. We came up without taking the high. And then what do? We get a little bit of a three-way pullback. And a three-way pullback makes sense. Why? Because it's Saturday. Usually Sunday we sell off. I mean, every single Sunday. Sunday is the most bearish day of the week. I don't know why. It just is. Actually, we do know why, because it's everybody's, you know, doing other things, and liquidity's thin, and people sell, and they're just, you know, because they're not sure what the Monday open will be in the stock market and how that affects crypto. So yeah, I think we're getting super close to 2025, and it should be exciting to see how this all plays out. So yeah, let's see if this thing continues. I mean, we're gonna find out probably by Saturday, Sunday, Monday, probably by Tuesday, if this thing is doing what it needs to do, right? If it starts to deviate away, then obviously it's a no-go. So it doesn't have to be super precise. Obviously it's going to be a little bit different, right? I haven't seen one person share this fractal, not one. You can see your little base here. We come up, we could come all the way down and retest it. And you can say, well, who cares about Engine coin? It doesn't matter what the coin is. If Engine is giving you the signal that it's going to do that, then what do you think the rest of the market's going to do? Something pretty much similar, right? So XRP, triangle. It could be a triangle, right? So we have 3 down, we have 3 up, we have 3 back down, and this could be another 3 up, and then another 3 down, and then a continuation, right? Or we could see, for example, that this could be A, B, C, and this right here was D, and this right here was E, and we're ready. I don't think so, though. I think it's a little awkward looking. Like the D looks so much smaller than the E, and that's usually, if you're having a contraction, right? You're contracting in. The waves should be big, smaller, 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 right? They should get smaller. So it makes more sense that this would be A, this would be B, this would be C, right? And this could be D here, right? And then we get some kind of E, but I don't even really like that either. I mean, yeah, you know what? It does kind of make sense too, because it gives you a better 3-wave shape, so a 1 and a 2, if you looked at it like that. But I think what makes the most sense would be A, B, C, D, and then we get E and then go. Right? Or what we have simply is W, X, and a Y. We have an impulse, and we have a 3-way pullback. And that's a 1, and that's a 3-way pullback, that's a 2. We're building a base, and we're about to go. I mean, if it's simple as that, I mean, let's go. But the difference is, when we get up here, we pull back in 3 and then go. So it's really the same thing. If it's a triangle or if it's this, it's actually the same. The difference is how it pulls back. But the direction is the same. So, anyways, that's XRP. Let's look at Theta real quick. This will be a quickie. Oh, we're getting a little pumpy action here. Look at that. Not too bad. I don't like this Theta chart. Give me the other one here. Where are you at? There you go. Right there. There, that's much more clean and precise. So this is the same fractal we were just looking at in the beginning of the video. Pretty much really, really similar. I just picked engine just to be, neutral. But, I mean, we really need this thing to pull back like that. We don't want it to break the high, because then it'll be different, right? And then we want it to come back up and then pull back again. And we sort of get that 1, 2, 1, 2 action going on. And then we really rip and roar at the end of the day. Now, if this thing starts to break out, it's still okay, but I want to see maybe something like that, Then I would kind of look at it like maybe a 1, 2, and then another 1, 2, something like that. But at the end of the day, it's pretty bullish. To me, we're building this W pattern, and look at that. Look at the shape that it's creating. It's the same thing. Watch, check this out. This is why I think charts are pretty cool. Now, if we go to XRP and we look at the entire 7-year price structure of XRP, where are you at? Right there. And then we go up to, let's go to the weekly chart. All right, let's go to the 10-day chart. And let's take all that off the screen. Okay, now look at this. All right, can you see it? You can kind of see it, right? So what we have here is sort of this box right in here. Right? Same thing with Theta. You have this box, right? And let me tone that down a lot more. Perfect. Let me tone this one down. Perfect. Okay, so those are two boxes. You know, a little bit different, but basically the same, right? You have an impulse, you come down, right? You shoot the retracement, right? You come back down into reaccumulation, and then you go sideways, and then you go sideways. And then you have that little spike there, and then you have this little spike here, right? And then what happens? You break out. And what's happening now? Maybe we're breaking out. You see what I mean? So you can take a structure that's literally 2 days old and compare it to a structure that's 7 years old, and it could be literally the same thing. Fractals, it doesn't matter if it's 10 seconds or 10 years, you know, they all move the same, right? They're all similar in nature. So, is that what's happening? I don't know. You know, it's just, you know, I'm just showing you the comparison of the structures here, right? And what I like about it is the W shape. The W shape, right? That's what we want. We want to see these cups. We want to see the boobies, right? I mean, that's what we want. That's what we need. W's are bullish, right? This is not what we want, right? So everything's there. Everything's there for the smaller time frames. Let's zoom out a little bit here. All right, so you know, it's one of those things where we're still not completely there yet, because a couple things I'm looking for here. Obviously, number one, this is a wave 1, this is a wave 2, and now we need to get up here into a wave 3, 4, and then 5. That would be the idea. Doesn't mean today or tomorrow or even next week. It could take several weeks. I don't know. But that's the first thing we need. Second thing is breaking above this downward resistance line. Look at that. We're right there, and we're actually breaking it now. Wow, I didn't even know that. So this is that wick. I'm not sure if that wick is on all of the charts. Let me just confirm. If it's on 2 charts, then we're good to go. Yes, it is on 2 charts. So we are golden right there. If I do it from the wick all the way to right about there, look at that. We are literally breaking out right now. So we already got the 2-hour close, and I can even be as conservative as possible. So let's see, we need the 4-hour though. So the 4 hours, what matters, right? Actually, I can actually take that down a little bit further. Okay, there we go. So we need to close. Let me put a horizontal line right at the mean of that area. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in to the 5-minute chart. Okay, there you go. So as long as we close, I'd actually raise it up a little bit, above 231 in the next, what is it, a couple hours? Hour and 45 minutes, I think we'll be set. I think it'll set the momentum. Now, you know, tomorrow is Sunday, so you might slow down a little bit. I'd like to see it come up here and then retest, kind of like that fractal, that 1-2, 1-2 kind of setup, and then by the time we hit 2025, we're off to the races. I mean, that's the goal, that's the idea, that's the hope, but it doesn't mean that's exactly what's going to happen, right? But that's how it looks like it needs to play out. The reason why is because, I mean, look at this gorgeous 3-way pullback. You got that impulse, you got a textbook 3-way pullback, right? You got a 1, you got a 2. So let's go. I mean, it's there. Everything that we look for is there. But what if it's not that? Well, then what we can see here is A, or actually it'd be W, X, Y, and then we have X, and then we come down and get Z, something like that. W, X, Y, X, Z, and then go up. So it's either go up from here. So that's the pivot. We're right in the pivot area. Do we come down? Do we go up? Right? I think both of those outcomes will eventually lead to upside. And the more probability is to the upside, I mean, basically by breaking this line, by closing above the line, and let's go to the daily chart and let's look at that. See, the daily's a little bit different. Let me adjust it. Okay, so you could see the daily is barely poking through. Now, again, okay, so we have an hour and 41 minutes until the daily close. So it's kind of breaking in. It's not really a full-fledged sort of break. What would make much more sense, more confidence, more conviction is breaking above 237. If we could close the day above 237, I don't know if we can. I mean, we're kind of a little extended now, and usually when you have a big knockdown and then that shooting star doji and then followed by an engulfing candle back in the retrace level, chances are you're not going to do it. Chances are it might need another couple days. Closing above 237. Now we're doing okay. Let's go back to the other chart here. Let's go down to the 15-minute. Yeah, I mean, look at that. We're pumping the jams. We're pumping the jams. So, where's 237 at? Right. I mean, we're not that far away. I mean, we're really not. So, can we close above 237 on a daily candle, right? And then let's go back to the daily real quick. Yeah, because all of this is just wicks. So, anyways, let's see how this plays out. Now, let's look at a couple other charts real quick. H-bar looking okay. Monero looking pretty good. Got that three-wave pullback, kind of building a base, exactly what we talked about. Look at this. We're getting away from the scene of the crime. Remember, we have a big dump. Everybody sort of freaks out, gets bearish. But then what happens? How do people heal? Time, right? When you have a big dump, people get hurt, people get emotional, people get sad, people get angry. So how do they heal? Time. Time heals all things, right? So if we get away from that scene, people forget about it. People, they forget it. They don't necessarily forget about it, but they just become more accepting of it, And then what happens? People sort of get greedy again, and then we go up. Potentially, right? Or we could keep going down too, Just depends what the market's going to do. I don't know what it's going to do. I can just use wave structure to get higher probable outcomes of what it could potentially do. There's a difference. But we've been pretty spot on since doing this channel, which essentially, when smaller time frames much more difficult, but the larger time frames we did pretty well at figuring out what the market's doing, right? And I can tell you right now, I really like Monero because of this structure right here. Look at that, sideways. Nobody cares about Monero. Nobody's talking about Monero. It's quiet. It's broke out of its range. Nobody even knows it exists, right? And that's why I like it. You got a pretty massive impulse. This was all reaccumulation. I don't know what's going to happen with Monero, but the chart looks phenomenal as far as the structure of it, right? I mean, this thing has been literally going sideways since July of 2020. Well, actually even further. We'll say February 2022. Or even January 22, right? So January 23, January 24, January 25. That's 3 years of going sideways. And look at this. We broke out of it, right? So if I put the line, I could put a line right there as well. So these two lines between 178 and 186, right? You have and then obviously you have another one here at 200 and then beyond that. But what I like here is how we, wait 1 second here, we essentially have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. So we got a 5-wave move. Now, that could be a bad thing because now we might have to flag out for a little while and then go up. I don't know, but or this thing is even more beautiful. 1, 2, 1, 2, right? 1, 2, 1, 2. I mean, this is a nest, like a hornet's nest of 1-2s, and they're very deadly, right? I mean, to the upside. So let's zoom in. Let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of this one here. Let's just put it right there. So we got the breakout, and then we got the back test, and then we got a B wave, and then we got a secondary test, right? So it's doing everything it needs to do. I mean, it is looking beautiful. Obviously, things can fail, but I don't believe that it will. I think it's looking too good. I mean, you invest 3 years just to go up and then die. I don't get it. It doesn't make sense. I mean, it could happen, but I don't know. I just, who's developing on Monero? Who's building on Monero? Why is Monero? I mean, I don't know. It's a privacy coin. It's an OG. I don't really see a lot of utility with it. I don't even really care about it. I just like the chart. So we'll see if it plays out. I don't know, but it looks pretty freaking amazing. Just the way it looks. I mean, look at how massive that thing is. I mean, this thing started at below 40 cents. And we shot all the way up. I mean, what's the market cap? That will be a thing. Let me see if I can find. Okay, so I found the market cap. Look at this. And it looks even more stunning, I think. I mean, it's basically the same, but it looks great. So and it's only a $3.5 billion market. It's nothing. It's a baby, right? So this thing has the potential to hit around 33 billion. And that's usually where these alts go, around that 30 billion mark when they have their expansion, and that's not that much of a percentage. You're looking at about an 8x or so. But here's the thing. The way Monero does really, really, really well is if it overshoots its fib levels, right? Or, on linear scale, and we go up to log scale, that's a $51 billion market cap. And that would put the price of Monero, let's see what that would be. That's approximately, let's say 1,300%. We'll be a little conservative. And we'll go back to, let's see, where are you at? Right there. All right, and then we'll go up 1,300%. Or actually, what I can just do is just put the 1618, right? It should be the same. That's about $2,000. That's about $2,700. Let me just make sure it's right around there. Yeah, so it's about the same. Okay, so $2,700. I think that's possible, and here's why. Well, first of all, technically, it could hit it because it's only been in one wave, guys. This is wave 1. And then we have A, B, C. That's wave 2. And we're about to go into wave 3. And wave 3 can be way bigger than wave 1. not in percentages, but in the length or the size of the wave, right? So if we look at this thing in regular scale, you know, and we go up to just $1,800, I mean, you can even say that this is a 1 2 1 2 and we're about to fly, right? Look at that W pattern right there, and we're about to do that. Now here's an example. If I can find it really fast, look at total 3 for a minute. Okay, now let's go down here. You see that? Look at that W right there. Boom. And then look at that. We just went all the way up. So, you know. Now when you compare that to, like, I know some people want me to do XDC, and XDC looks great too. Look at this. You got a W pattern as well. Perfect. Litecoin. You know, Litecoin has that similar look as well, right? It's got a rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation, sideways. So I want to see the breakout. Monero just had a much more shallow retracement, though, a more shallow pullback, meaning it held up a lot stronger. But then, granted, it did go up a lot higher. So, and even if, you know, because it went up so much, why didn't it pull back more? You know, I mean, the lowest it went to about $25. The highest is around what, 450 or so, or 460. So this is what I was gonna say. The way Monero really blast off is if something happens as far as the deep state, right? Why would Monero go up? Because people are flocking to privacy. Why would they flock to privacy? Because there's some data leak, right? Maybe there's classified documents that get leaked out, the government spying on you, you know, central bank digital currency. They want to control everything of our lives, and people get scared, like, and they run to gold, but instead they run to things like Zcash or Monero, right? Because they want that security, they want that privacy factor, right? So privacy coins really never had their day in the spotlight. And I think that day could potentially come based off what I'm looking here at the chart, right? Charts are, I don't know what is going to happen in terms of the news, but that's why we don't care about the news per se, because the old saying goes, show me the chart and I'll tell you the news. And you're showing me this Monero chart and I'm telling you the news, not financial advice. I could be totally dead wrong. Monero could go to zero instantly. But just by looking at it, it has everything an investor wants. Massive run, shallow pullback, retracement to equal highs, shallow retracement level, 3 years sideways reaccumulation, and we just broke out and we just backtested. I mean, you can't get any better than that, you know? So I'm seriously looking at a bigger position in Monero just because the way it looks. So anyways, that's my little spiel on Monero. By the way, I don't care about it. You know, it's not like XRP. XRP is completely different. XRP has Ripple. XRP has utility. I mean, Monero does too in a way, but XRP has so much more going for it. You know what I mean? But when you look at XRP, right? Let's go to this chart here. Where is Monero at on XRP? Monero is right there. XRP is way up here. Now XRP can get up here And Monero can then get there, and then maybe XRP gets a little bit higher, and then a Monero, you know what I mean? So percentage-wise, I think Monero might have a little bit more juice. And you might think, that's so stupid, that's so crazy, who cares about Monero? Nobody's developing on it. There's no, and you're right. That's true. There isn't. That's why Monero's not my biggest holding. That's why XRP is still my biggest holding by far. Because, Ripple, the company, I mean, there's so many things going on with Ripple. There's the sky's the limit in terms of what they're capable of doing in regarding the bank, the financial system, the money, the derivatives, the bonds, the tokenization, all those things that they do. It's beyond impressive. Monero is only a coin that's used for transactions for privacy. That's it. I mean, I don't know. It's a one-trick pony. I don't think it can do anything else. Maybe it can. I'm not sure. But there you go. And then you look at Theta, and that's another big, huge, unbelievably inspiring sort of, as we embark into this new crypto age, internet, streaming, data, bandwidth is the biggest thing, right? So bandwidth is the fuel to all of our data. And Theta is that thing. Is that why they call it Theta? Because it's the bandwidth to our data? I don't know. All right, so yeah, I'm going to keep it short today. That's pretty much it. I'm going to look at Bitcoin real quick. Yeah, it's... I'd like to see it do this. Get back up here. And then we can talk. I think that's the best thing. If we do have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I still think we're going to come back up here. So which one's it going to be? I don't know yet. We need more information. So anyways, I think that's it. Oh, look at CRV. Jesus. CRV that's a pretty big pump there. Oh, look at this. Wow, look at that three-wave move right there. You had a 1, 2, you had a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you had this gorgeous three-way pullback, and now you're impulsing. So if we can come up and break the high, that's really, really good, because then we have a 5-wave move, then you get a 3-way pullback, then you really launch pad out of there. Haven't looked at XLM in a little bit. Yeah, XLM kind of looks like WXYXZ. I mean, it looks finished in a way. Looks like a beautiful bull flag. I mean, we're correcting to the down. This thing's going to break out, guys. I just have a big feeling. We're going to break out. I can't confirm it 100%, but I feel like we're going to get back to here. It just seems like it needs to go here first. And then once we're here, then that's when it becomes very challenging. Point A, point B, point C. Point A is easy. Point B is pretty easy. Point C is very hard. There's always 3 points to a chart. Thank you guys. I will catch you guys on the next one. Hit the like, subscribe, and share the video if you can. That would be cool. And let's try to help as many people out as possible, because in the world of crypto, lots of people get lost and confused, and I feel like this channel could kind of help them sort of see the market in a different way. You know what I mean? So anyways, I will catch you guys on the next one. Cheers.